I don't know. Is the damn thing still working? Holy crap. One of these 3 days I gotta get this damn thing working right. Okay, so who am I addressing this one to? Tennessee Brando. Mr. Tennessee Brando. How you doing today? Okay. So you're talking about MAGA, disturbing threats, and not to mention churches going insane at this point over here. What else is new? Weaver John C. of Roseman, California. Out here, we're baking at triples. How you doing today? It's 1:13 p.m. on a Sunday, the 13th of July, 2025. Normally I'd be called a zombie out here because I'm barely alive, barely awake. So I'm growling and groaning at people. And other days I do the diary of a griever named John Weaver, which talks about my personal and political crap going on these days. And with everything happening that we have to overreact and react to, I pick and choose which particular lunacy I'm going to be getting myself into or out of. Case in point, pastors who keep pounding pulpits and screaming and yelling at people. They want death. They want change. They want you to follow. They want. That's why I put a deaf ear in these guys because I don't give them the atmosphere and I don't give them the attention. But then maybe we should put attention on these cockroaches. I mean, hell, I got a lot of cockroaches here physically here at home. We could put a lot of light on them. And these cockroaches would scurry around in the cabinets and then in between the walls. To me, it's like the cockroaches we got concerned about religious. Or we can also talk about the political figures over here that still want chaos, confusion, hell, and best at the same damn time. They want. You will be fearful. You will do this. We want order. We will do this to protect your ass. Don't you know this? This is the will of the Reich that we have on the Trumpland. And we will be a good job at it too. We speak good English doing that. It's like every time I keep seeing Miller and this crap. And not to mention the ilk. And they're talking about stuff. I'm glazed over because I'm thinking, I'm sorry, was somewhere in there was there a touch of humanity, compassion, empathy? No, we want to toss people out of the country because I say so. Okay, that's good. Can we toss your ass then? You want to reverse birthright citizenship. That means anybody born in the United States or the territories, if they happen to get feet wet, so to speak, you got to challenge it. Whether or not if the people who are coming into the country or actually in the territories are United States citizens, and are you going to be revoking their citizenship? So how far back do you go this? Go back on this. We have had Native Americans for generations despising Americans. After what the hell we did when we European colonists came over and screwed up their land. The Vikings did. They came in, they colonized a little bit, and they got the hell out. But no, the European colonists, with their own manifest destiny going in their system here, we want it all. So we go into northern, central, and southern territories. Yeah, just how well is this working anyway? We gave them lead poisoning. We gave them diseases. We gave them trinkets. They gave us trinkets. We wanted more out of their trinkets. We wanted the metals and the materials for it. We wanted the land, the lumber. We wanted the farming, the colonists. We wanted an empire. We will have an empire because we European colonists will want it right now. Yeah. So we did. We cloaked and shouted it under freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of a gunshot wound. Didn't we have wars with the Native Americans? It didn't matter which particular country it was. Us European colonists were having wars with them because we wanted our territory and we were encroached on their territory. It's like, how far in your house or apartment are you willing to defend a room when they're taking up, whoever the invader is, the entire space? Are you going to defend the bathroom? Are you going to defend your bedroom, the kitchen, something? And yet the invaders would come and demand you leave because you don't have birthright citizenship of your place. Do you not get the irony of the situation? We demand birthright citizenship. We demand paperwork. We demand. Or otherwise, we're going to kick you out of your country. Hell, we even tried to do that to the Native Americans. If I'm not mistaken, with some of the independents out there over the past several months, I've come across one story or two stories out there, usually coming from the Native Americans, that ICE came over, or feds, and wanted to evict them out of their own sovereign territory that we, gracious Americans, bequeathed them territory. Oh, we be a little small chunk of land when we actually had the entire fucking continent. If that wasn't bad enough, Spanish came over and started conquering Mexico territory. The Indians are there, and I mean, it was just a mess. People keep forgetting history, world history, U.S. history. You're from wherever you are, probably Tennessee. I'm California. This territory used to be Indian territory until the Spanish took it over, tried to convert people into religion, tear apart their religion, gave them Catholicism with the ruler on hands. You will learn Christianity, but the great maker, whap, characterizing. But we did take away things from the Native Americans. I'm not Native American. I'm one of the I'm an ancestor, or actually I'm the future generation of the ancestors who came over and colonized and terrorized. And we called the territory Pennsylvania. Some Indians were friendly enough, if we were going to be friendly enough with them. Others downright hostile. I don't blame them for being both, at least hostile. So, now we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now. Is it scary, terrifying? Is it basically what we're doing to them? And what are we doing to them? We don't know what the hell we're doing to them because we're scaring the crap out of them. Trump and his ilk are trying to be those kind of bullies even further and similar to the ones we had back in the past. They don't mention names. These days we've got social media. The names are all over the damn place. But back then we had to go, back then, an understanding the past, we have to have journals, written records, something to tell us the history of what was going on. Otherwise, history is just verbal and sometimes gets lost in the translation. Last decade, I've learned a lot more about my country, about the world, sitting in boring classrooms, listening to lectures, what people would call boring classrooms. But I was hungry enough to understand what was going on. I mean, K through 12, they could shove the stuff down your throat. Without context, without perspective, just shove it in there because we need you to repeat it by rote, and then you can graduate. Cookie cutter. Not understanding the reasons why. I tried right after high school to understand, not college ways, but to understand where my ancestry came from. My ancestry was England, Scotland, Ireland, Germany. 4 countries. I've had mixed countries in my blood, in my genetic makeup. But in a cultural understanding of what each country means to me during those days, yep. So I have to study history. I'm not a history major, but I want to study about my family history. One of my relatives still has a family Bible. I've been asking for a copy of the damn thing, but so far I haven't got it yet. I wish I had. Then I can understand where I came from more and more. On my mother's side, the family Bible exists. On my father's side, forget it. Black hole. You got biological sperm donor, and that's the thing I kind of hate. Is when I turned into that kind of situation there. But in dealing with what we have right now today, how is our European heritage better than anybody else coming across? Better than Central or South America? Or from another country? How is mine the ultimate, or supposed to be the ultimate, over everybody else? In my state, the territory, when it got converted, or partially converted, we had Mexicans being created. We have Latino. We have Spanish descendants, mixing in with the Native Americans. And what do we get? We have people with Spanish and Indian heritage. We call them Mexicans. And in this territory, we had vast. They had skills like crazy. Had mad skills. They could farm. They could ranch. They could hunt. And they have culture. They have culture. Some people, I think in the past, were asking me, oh, how come we have so many Mexicans here? Until you learn about California history. This used to be part of Mexico. So I'm like, okay, this is part of Mexico at one time. Didn't bother me. Didn't bother me having Latina. Because I don't mean any insult to them. I like them. I also like the food. I also like cooking. If I can understand if it's a lot better than the American crap we serve, like Taco Bell or Del Taco, go into smaller mom and pop shops, and I'm drinking in culture. I'm eating culture. I'm eating family history and different food dishes. I became a connoisseur of chips and salsa. In my youth, when I actually had a tongue and stomach, could deal with the stuff. These days, forget it. Get older, and my body's saying, forget it. But it's more than just the food. It's understanding where people came from, and understanding where they came from, what their struggles were. We live in a nation where theoretically we had lived in a nation. Now I don't know what the hell we call ourselves anymore, but we live in a nation of pluralism. Tennessee, pluralism. That's adapting to many cultures, isn't it? A lot of cultures blended into a symphony of sorts. So if I'm going to put this into a food analogy, think of it as the guy coming into the village with a stone. You've heard about the story before? He wanted to get something to eat. He's hungry, but he can't get a drop out of people, and the people don't like dealing with each other. This is where pluralism comes in. And he starts to wave one person at a time who's curious. But this guy sets up a pot with a stone and a bucket of water over a fire, and he's cooking the stone in the water. Something's needed, something's needed, something's needed, something's needed, something's needed. And at the end of the story, you have a whole village enjoying a meal out of all the ingredients that they threw into the pot. What does this tell you? What does this mean? This pluralism. Acceptance. People are laughing and enjoying their own cooking. One pot, a central pot, and everyone's poured into it. They called us the Great American Melting Pot because all our cultures blended into a symphony of flavors. Maybe it was an overlying gravy that ties everything else together. That's a food analogy. It works. But do you think other people would think about this one and understand this is what makes our country work? I'm not saying great, just work. We've had several different. We had differences that either we solve it civilly or we go into a full musket war. We did in 1860. We rebelled against a tyrant and the rules and regulations and the force of nature of that tyrant. 1776. The only two major things I keep telling people left and right. And unfortunately, I had to deal with violence. We tried. We tried nonviolence, but that didn't work. So, the ultimate ugly. Neighbor against neighbor. It still sickens me that we have to put ourselves in a situation here. Stephen doesn't realize this, doesn't care about this one. He grew up in Santa Monica. Santa Monica was one of the most liberal place around here in Southern California that you can actually goof off and be accepted as a goof off. And this guy was totally conservative. I don't know what the hell happened in his brain when he was growing up as a kid. How come he had to be totally a stick up his ass? But he did. He didn't like the differences. I mean, it's like, okay, another food analogy, okay? Neapolitan ice cream. You melt this stuff, it's kind of ugly. But if you like the melted ice cream, be my guest. But if you like the ice cream as it is, you have vanilla and chocolate and strawberry. Three favorite major flavors out there. Everyone else has got their own blended stuff going on. I still like mint and chip, only if I can stand the acidity of the mint anymore. Kind of gets to me. Chocolate chips, okay. But then again, chocolate still gets to me on some occasions. But Neapolitan doesn't get me. Because I have the flavors balancing out each other. This guy's plain vanilla. Okay, it's nothing wrong with plain vanilla. There's also variations of vanilla now. No, he wants one specific vanilla. Screw the chocolate. Screw the strawberry. There can't be no nuts in there. There can't be anything else. It has to be just vanilla bean. That's about it. Vanilla bean, that's about it. It's the only thing you can deal with. And he wants the world vanilla. His own world. He wants to see the anger, the hatred. Something sparked in this kid. Something sparked in this kid's youth. Something pissed him off to where he didn't like anything. Maybe he got discriminated. Maybe he got yelled at. I don't know. Something happened. I know something happened to me. I know something happened to me. And I can tell you that one. A long time ago. And I have to put people through the Google Maps on this one. You familiar? You are? Cool. All right. Sherman, set the Wayback Machine on this one and put up the Google Maps, please. I watched a lot of cartoons growing up as a kid. This 59-year-old can qualify for that stuff. Jeez. Okay, Google Maps. I want you to type out San Fernando Valley, California. Yeah, musical interlude. Me with a scroll of the mouse here. Look at the heartache and, oh, I gotta warn you. I gotta warn you of something. Every time I keep pulling up the San Fernando Valley, it's where I grew up. It's home. Left a long time ago. Me and my family out to the Antelope Valley, the wedge that you see right above the San Fernando Valley. Cabinet. That's where my family resides. Caregiver and caretaker. Survivor. Hard as hell. Reaching 20-minute mark here. Okay, we're going to do this part 2. Just don't go anywhere. See the other video. I'm coming right back. Got to keep these short sometimes. Pain in the asses as they are.